Picture this, centuries ago, long before smartphones and self-driving cars, Japan was already a powerhouse of groundbreaking inventions, many of which are still shaping our world today. From folding fans that cool you in summer to gold-repaired ceramics that teach us to embrace flaws, Japanese ingenuity has always been ahead of its time. But here's what's even more fascinating. Some of these ancient creations were so advanced, they feel like they were plucked from the future. Over the next few minutes, we're diving into 25 of Japan's most remarkable inventions, each with a story that blends artistry, mystery, and sheer brilliance. These aren't just relics of the past, they're the hidden threads that connected Japan's history to the modern world. And trust me, by the end, you'll never look at everyday objects the same way again. So, ready to uncover the secrets behind these timeless innovations? Let's begin. Now, let's turn our attention to one of Japan's most enchanting contributions to the world of music, the koto. Imagine a slender, elegant instrument stretching over 6 feet long, its 13 strings gliding under the fingertips of a skilled player, producing melodies that seem to float like cherry blossoms on the wind. This isn't just any instrument, it's the koto, a masterpiece of sound and craftsmanship with roots stretching back over 1,000 years. The koto's story begins in the Nara period, around the 8th century, when it was introduced to Japan from China. But the Japanese didn't just adopt it, they transformed it, infusing it with their own aesthetic and cultural spirit. Originally reserved for the imperial court, the koto quickly became a symbol of refinement, played by aristocrats and later by professional musicians in the elegant chambers of palaces. Its deep, resonant tones were believed to evoke the beauty of nature, from flowing rivers to whispering pines, making it a centerpiece of traditional court music known as gagaku. What makes the koto truly remarkable is its design. Crafted from paulownia wood, its hollow body acts as a natural amplifier, while the strings, once made of silk, now often nylon, are stretched over movable bridges, allowing players to adjust the pitch with delicate precision. Unlike Western instruments, the koto isn't played with a bow or pick. Instead, musicians wear ivory or tortoiseshell picks on their fingers, plucking and bending the strings to create its signature ethereal sound. Over the centuries, the koto evolved beyond the confines of the aristocracy. By the Edo period, it had found its way into the homes of commoners, played by geisha and street performers alike. Composers like Yatsuhashi Kengyo revolutionized its music in the 17th century, breaking free from rigid court styles to create new, expressive melodies. Today, the koto remains a living tradition, taught in schools and performed worldwide, bridging ancient and modern Japan with every note. So the next time you hear the koto's hauntingly beautiful strains, remember, you're not just listening to an instrument. You're hearing centuries of history, artistry, and the soul of Japan itself. And this is just the beginning. Wait until you see what other treasures are waiting to be uncovered. Now, let's step into the world of the samurai, where steel meets spirit, the legendary katana. Picture a blade so sharp it could slice through armor, yet so beautifully crafted it was considered a work of art. This isn't just a sword, it's the soul of the warrior, a symbol of discipline, honor, and centuries of meticulous craftsmanship. The katana's story begins in the fires of ancient forges, where master swordsmiths transformed raw iron into weapons of unparalleled strength. What set the katana apart was its unique folding technique. Blacksmiths would heat, hammer, and fold the steel hundreds, sometimes thousands of times. This wasn't just for show. Each fold removed impurities, creating a blade with layers as fine as the rings of a tree, giving it both flexibility and a razor-sharp edge. The result, a sword that could withstand brutal combat without shattering, yet cut with terrifying precision. But the katana was more than just a weapon. To the samurai, it was an extension of their very being, infused with spiritual significance. They believed the sword housed their honor, their bushido, the way of the warrior. Losing it was worse than death, a disgrace that could never be undone. This reverence wasn't just superstition. The process of forging a katana was steeped in ritual. Swordsmiths would purify themselves, sometimes even wearing white robes, as if crafting a sacred object. The blade's curvature wasn't just for aesthetics. It allowed for swift, fluid strikes, perfect for the samurai's lightning-fast aijutsu draws, where a single motion could decide life or death. By the Edo period, the katana became the ultimate status symbol, worn only by samurai as a mark of their elite class. Its design evolved too. The tsuba, or handguard, transformed into intricate works of metal art depicting scenes from nature or mythology. Even the scabbard, the saya, was a masterpiece, often lacquered and adorned with family crests. Today, the katana's legacy lives on, not just in museums but in the hands of modern martial artists and collectors. It's a testament to Japan's blend of brutality and beauty, where every curve, every fold tells a story of survival, artistry, and an unbreakable spirit. And as we move forward, you'll see how Japan's genius didn't stop at steel. It flowed into the very paper they wrote on. From the sharp edges of the katana, we now turn to something far softer yet just as enduring: washi, the traditional paper that has held Japan's stories, art, and even homes together for over 1,000 years. Imagine a material so strong it could outlast centuries, yet so delicate it floats like a whisper. This isn't your ordinary paper. Washi is a testament to patience, craftsmanship, and the beauty of imperfection. The journey of washi begins in the countryside, where the bark of the kozo, mitsumata, or gampi trees is harvested by hand. These fibers aren't just tossed into a vat. They're steamed, stripped, and painstakingly cleaned to remove every trace of dirt or bark, leaving behind only the purest strands. Then comes the magic. The fibers are beaten, not pulverized into oblivion like Western paper, but gently broken down to preserve their natural strength. This is why washi can bend without tearing and last for hundreds of years. Some manuscripts from the Heian period still survive today, crisp and legible. What truly sets washi apart is the way it's formed. Artisans pour the fiber mixture onto a wooden screen, swaying it rhythmically in water to interlock the fibers. This isn't mass production. Each sheet is a dance of precision, with the maker's skill determining its thickness and texture. The result, a paper that's luminous, almost translucent when held to light, yet tough enough to be used for clothing, lanterns, or even sliding doors in traditional homes. And here's where washi stands worlds apart from Western paper. Modern paper relies on chemicals and rapid processing, sacrificing longevity for convenience. Washi, though, is all natural, no acids to eat away at it over time. Its fibers are longer, giving it a flexibility that resists yellowing or brittleness. That's why conservators still use it to restore ancient artworks, and why architects prize it for shoji screens that diffuse light like no synthetic material can. But washi isn't just practical, it's a canvas for Japan's artistic soul. Ukiyo-e prints, those breathtaking woodblock masterpieces, owe their vibrancy to washi's ability to hold ink without bleeding. Calligraphers treasure its slight tooth, which gives brushstrokes a lively texture. Even today, designers and artists worldwide seek it out for its tactile warmth, a quality no machine-made paper can replicate. From the scrolls of emperors to the lamps lighting modern cafes, washi is a quiet revolution, proof that the slow, handmade things often outshine the factory-made. And as we'll see next, Japan's genius for blending function and beauty didn't stop at paper. It flowed into the very brushes that brought words to life. Moving from the quiet strength of washi paper, let's explore the tool that brought it to life, the Shodo brush, an instrument so revered in Japan that it became a bridge between art, philosophy, and the divine. These aren't just brushes, they're extensions of the soul, crafted to translate thought into flowing ink with every stroke. The magic of a Shodo brush lies in its simplicity and precision. Unlike Western brushes, which often prioritize uniformity, Japanese calligraphy brushes embrace natural asymmetry. The bristles are typically made from animal hair, wolf, horse, or even raccoon, each chosen for unique qualities. Wolf hair, for instance, is stiff and ideal for bold, angular strokes, while horsehair's softness creates delicate, flowing lines. The handle, usually bamboo, is carefully weighted to balance the artist's hand, turning writing into a meditative act. But crafting one is no simple task. Master brush makers spend years learning to bundle and bind the hairs, ensuring not a single strand is out of place. The tip must come to a perfect point, yet fan out smoothly under pressure. This attention to detail means a single brush can take weeks to complete. And just as a katana reflects its smith, a shodo brush carries the spirit of its maker. The great calligrapher Ono no Tofu once said that a poorly made brush would betray the heart's intent, a reminder that tools and artistry are inseparable in Shodo. Speaking of masters, Shodo's history is lit by legendary figures. Take the monk Kukai, who brought calligraphy back from China in the 9th century, infusing it with Zen Buddhism's mindfulness. His works weren't just words, they were prayers in ink where the speed and pressure of each stroke revealed the writer's state of mind. Then there's Hanami Kotsu, whose brushes danced across washi with such grace that his pieces became national treasures. His secret, he insisted on grinding his own ink, believing its texture was as vital as the brush itself. What's fascinating is how Shodo transcends mere writing. In Zen monasteries, calligraphy became a form of moving meditation. Monks would spend hours practicing single characters, seeking not perfection but presence. The brushes drag across the paper, the ink's absorption, every detail demanded absolute focus. Even today, Shodo is taught not just as an art but as a way to cultivate patience and discipline. Students learn that a trembling hand or distracted mind shows instantly on the page, and the brushes, they're treated with near reverence. A worn-out Shodo brush isn't thrown away. It's retired in a ceremony, often at a shrine, thanking it for its service. This deep respect highlights how Japan sees tools not as disposable but as partners in creation. From the austere halls of Zen temples to modern classrooms, Shodo brushes have shaped more than letters. They've shaped minds, and as we'll see next, this same blend of artistry and innovation unfolds in something unexpectedly practical: the folding fan where beauty meets a breeze. Now let's unfold the story of one of Japan's most elegant yet practical creations, the Sensu, or folding fan. What began as a simple tool for cooling down transformed into a cultural icon, carrying meanings far beyond its breeze. The folding fan's origins trace back to the Heian period, around the 9th century. Unlike rigid fixed fans used elsewhere, Japan's innovation was collapsible. Picture this: slender bamboo ribs meticulously carved and threaded together with delicate paper or silk, allowing the fan to snap open with a flick of the wrist. This wasn't just about convenience. The folding mechanism made it portable, perfect for nobles who tucked them into kimono sleeves, ready to unfurl during poetry gatherings or sweltering summer ceremonies. But the Sensu's genius wasn't just in its design. It became a language of its own. In courtly life, how you held or opened your fan conveyed unspoken rules. Slowly fanning yourself signaled grace, while snapping it shut mid-conversation could express disapproval, no words needed. The fan was even used in traditional dance, where every movement told a story. Dancers would flick them open to mimic fluttering leaves or shield their faces to suggest mystery, turning performances into visual poetry. The artistry of Sensu lies in its decorations. Craftsmen painted scenes from nature: cherry blossoms, cranes, rolling waves, each symbolizing virtues like longevity or resilience. Gold leaf accents turned fans into status symbols. The more intricate, the higher the owner's rank. Some designs even hid secret meanings. A fan with a moon and plum blossoms might hint at a clandestine romance, borrowing imagery from classic literature. Beyond Japan's borders, the folding fan became a global sensation. Portuguese traders brought them to Europe in the 16th century, where they ignited a craze. Aristocrats adored their exotic appeal, and soon European artisans were crafting their own versions. Queen Elizabeth I of England was famously painted holding one, cementing its status as a luxury item. But here's the twist: while Europe saw fans as fashion, Japan never lost sight of their spiritual roots. In Shinto rituals, folding fans purified sacred spaces, and Buddhist monks used them to represent the unfolding of wisdom. Even warfare found a use for Sensu. Generals carried gun-by, oversized iron-ribbed fans to command troops. The rustle of hundreds opening in unison could signal attacks or retreats, a blend of artistry and strategy. Today, the folding fan's legacy endures. Modern designers reimagine them in sleek materials, while traditional makers preserve centuries-old techniques. Whether waving one at a festival or admiring its artistry in a museum, every sensu carries a whisper of history. And as we'll soon see, Japan's knack for blending beauty and function takes an even more whimsical turn with Karakuri Ningyo, mechanical dolls that brought automata to life centuries before robots. Now let's step into a world where clockwork met creativity, the fascinating realm of Karakuri Ningyo, Japan's ingenious automata dolls. These weren't just toys. They were masterpieces of engineering, blending art and mechanics centuries before the word robot even existed. The story of Karakuri Ningyo begins in the Edo period, around the 17th century, when craftsmen combined watchmaking precision with theatrical flair. Picture a wooden doll that could serve tea, shoot arrows, or even write graceful calligraphy, all without a single modern motor. The secret lay in intricate systems of gears, levers, and weights, often powered by nothing more than gravity or wound-up springs. Unlike European automata, which were mostly ornamental, Japan's karakuri were designed to interact with people, making them feel almost alive. Take the famous Chahako by Ningyo, the tea-serving doll. A guest would place a cup on its tray, triggering a hidden mechanism. The doll would glide forward, pause as if offering the tea with a bow, then turn and retreat once the cup was lifted. It wasn't just about function. The deliberate, graceful movements mirrored the rituals of chanoyu, the Japanese tea ceremony, where every gesture held meaning. These dolls weren't mere novelties. They were reflections of cultural values, harmony, precision, and the beauty of subtlety. But karakuri weren't confined to terums. Festival versions, called Butai Karakuri, dazzled crowds with elaborate performances. Some could dance with fans or reenact mythical tales, their mechanisms hidden within rolling stages or floating platforms. In the city of Nagoya, a legendary Karakuri lion still performs today, its head swaying and eyes blinking as it devours offerings, a spectacle that's mesmerized audiences for over 200 years. What's astonishing is how these mechanisms were crafted entirely by hand, with artisans calculating gear ratios and tension without blueprints or calculators. The influence of Karakuri Ningyo stretches far beyond their time. Modern roboticists often cite them as early inspiration, marveling at how they achieved fluid, human-like motion with purely mechanical systems. In fact, Japan's contemporary robotics industry, with its emphasis on lifelike interaction, owes a quiet debt to these Edo-era pioneers. The principles behind Karakuri, efficiency, elegance, and a touch of wonder, still echo in everything from industrial robots to companion androids. Yet perhaps the most enduring legacy of Karakuri lies in their philosophy. They weren't built to replace humans but to celebrate human ingenuity. Each doll carried a hint of playfulness, whether it was an archer missing its target on purpose or a calligrapher pausing to dip its brush. This blend of technical mastery and whimsy captures something essential about Japanese innovation, where function never overshadows delight. And just as these mechanical wonders bridged past and future, our next invention weaves together practicality and artistry in everyday life. It's time to walk across the humble yet revolutionary tatami mat, where footsteps meet tradition. Now let's shift from the whirring gears of Karakuri to something quieter but equally transformative: the tatami mat. These woven straw floors are more than just a place to sit. They're the heartbeat of traditional Japanese homes, blending practicality with centuries of cultural wisdom. The story of tatami begins over 1,000 years ago, when they were luxury items reserved for nobility. Originally, they were thin mats laid out only where needed, like seating for aristocrats or bedding for monks. But by the Edo period, tatami had spread to everyday homes, transforming entire rooms into flexible, multi-purpose spaces. Unlike Western floors, which are static, tatami adapt. Their standard size, about 3 by 6 feet, called a jo, became the unit for measuring rooms, shaping Japanese architecture itself. Walk into a traditional home and you'll hear the soft rustle of igusa grass underfoot, a sound synonymous with comfort in Japan. What makes tatami so special starts with craftsmanship. Each mat is a sandwich of natural materials. The core is packed rice straw, layered for firmness, while the surface is tightly woven igusa, a grass prized for its fresh scent and cushioning. The edges are bound with decorative fabric, often colored to denote a room's importance. But tatami isn't just about materials, it's a lesson in living. The mats dictate movement. Shoes are left at the door to preserve their delicate surface, and furniture is minimal to avoid crushing them. Sit on tatami, and you're encouraged to kneel in zither or cross-legged, postures that foster mindfulness and connection to the space. Tatami also shaped Japanese aesthetics. Rooms floored with them are called washitsu, and their dimensions follow strict rules to maintain harmony. For example, a formal reception room might have exact mat placements to honor guests, while tea ceremony spaces use half-sized mats to create intimacy. Even the direction of the weaving matters. Artisans align the igusa fibers to run toward the room's focal point, subtly guiding attention. And because tatami absorbs humidity in summer and insulates in winter, they're a masterclass in passive climate control, something modern designers still study. Yet tatami's influence stretches beyond Japan. Mid-century architects like Frank Lloyd Wright admired their modularity, borrowing the idea for open-plan living. Today, tatami rooms appear worldwide, from yoga studios to minimalist apartments, proving their timeless appeal. But perhaps their deepest legacy is philosophical. In a tatami room, emptiness is intentional. The space isn't cluttered, it breathes, inviting you to slow down. As one Japanese proverb says, the more tatami, the richer the life, not in wealth but in serenity. From this quiet revolution underfoot, we turn to an invention that transformed faces and folklore: the enigmatic masks of no theater, where expression becomes art. Now let's step from the quiet harmony of tatami into a world where faces become legends: the hauntingly beautiful masks of no theater. These aren't just props. They're portals to another realm, carved with such precision that a tilt of the head can shift a character's emotion from joy to sorrow. The art of no masks began over 600 years ago, rooted in Japan's sacred performances. Unlike Western theater, where actors reveal their own faces, no relies on these wooden visages to convey every nuance of the story. Each mask is carved from a single block of hinoki cypress, a wood chosen for its lightness and grain. The process is slow, sometimes taking months. Artisans chisel, sand, and polish until the features emerge: ghosts, demons, gods, or humans frozen in timeless expressions. But the magic doesn't stop there. The masks are painted with natural pigments, layer by layer, to catch the light just so. A no mask isn't lifeless. It breathes. What makes these masks so spellbinding? It's their ability to transform with movement. A performer tilts the mask downward and the face appears mournful. Tilt it upward and the same face might gleam with laughter. This illusion, called mujin, blurs the line between performer and spirit. the masks are also bound to tradition. Only certain families, like the famed Deem or Ikikawa lineages, have passed down carving techniques for generations. Some masks are so sacred they're stored in silk-lined boxes, handled only with reverence. No, masks aren't just about craft, they're steeped in spirituality. Before a performance, actors meditate with their masks, believing the spirit of the character enters them. The mask isn't worn, it's inhabited. This ritual, called metsuke, turns the actor into a vessel for stories centuries old. The masks also follow strict symbolism. A red face might denote a vengeful spirit, while white signifies purity. Even the faintest crackle in the paint is deliberate, aging the mask to show wisdom or suffering. Beyond the stage, no masks influence Japan's wider culture. Their minimalist beauty inspired ukiyo-e prints and even modern anime's exaggerated expressions. Collectors prize antique masks, but replicas now appear in galleries worldwide, proving their enduring power. Yet the true heart of No remains in its intimacy. In a dimly lit theater, as a masked figure glides across the stage, time collapses. You're not watching a performance, you're witnessing a soul. From these silent storytellers, we turn to an invention that stirred both court and commoner. The ancient art of brewing sake, where rice transforms into liquid poetry. Now, as we leave behind the silent drama of No masks, let's immerse ourselves in a craft where science and spirituality ferment together. The ancient art of sake brewing. This isn't just a drink, it's a liquid legacy woven into Japan's rituals, festivals, and daily life for over 2,000 years. The story of sake begins with rice, but not just any rice. Brewers seek out Yamada Nishiki or Goyakumangoku, prized for their starch-rich kernels. In ancient times, sake was sacred, brewed by shrine maidens who chewed the rice to initiate fermentation with their saliva. This method, called kuchikami no sake, or mouth-chewed sake, was believed to carry divine energy. Over time, the process refined. Koji mold, a microbial marvel, replaced human enzymes, breaking rice starch into sugars. This discovery, around the 8th century, marked the birth of modern sake brewing. The mold is so vital that koji rooms are treated like sanctuaries, sterile, temperature-controlled, and sometimes blessed by Shinto priests. What makes traditional sake brewing so mesmerizing? It's the harmony of elements. Water, drawn from pristine wells, affects everything from taste to texture. Soft water yields light, floral sake, while mineral-rich hard water creates bold, dry varieties. The rice is polished to remove outer layers, leaving pure starch. In the past, this was done by hand with stone mills, a grueling process that could take weeks. Today, machines achieve in hours what once took months, but premium sakes still prioritize labor-intensive methods. For example, Daijinjo sake uses rice polished to 50% or less of its original size, a testament to precision. Fermentation is where magic meets microbiology. Unlike wine, where yeast feeds on natural sugars, sake employs parallel fermentation. Koji converts starch to sugar, while yeast turns sugar to alcohol. This dance happens in small batches, stirred daily in cedar tanks. Early brewers relied on ambient yeast, leading to unpredictable results. Now, cultivated strains like #7 or #9 yeast ensure consistency, though some artisans still champion wild fermentation for unique flavors. Sake's spiritual roots run deep. It's offered to kami Shinto deities during festivals, sealing bonds between humans and the divine. The Kagami Bairaki ceremony, where a sake barrel's lid is smashed open with a mallet, symbolizes unity and celebration. Even the tools carry symbolism. Wooden presses resemble torii gates, bridging earth and heaven. Modern sake brewing balances tradition with innovation. While large producers use stainless steel tanks and automated systems, family-run Kura breweries cling to wooden vats and seasonal brewing. Some even revive ancient styles like cloudy nigori or sparkling sake, a nod to contemporary tastes. Yet, the soul of sake remains unchanged, a drink that captures the season's essence, the water's whisper, and the brewer's dedication. From this alchemy of rice and reverence, we turn to an art where broken becomes beautiful, Kintsugi, the golden repair that celebrates flaws as marks of history. Now, shifting our gaze from the alchemy of sake to the artistry of broken beauty, we encounter Kintsugi, the golden repair that turns fractures into masterpieces. This isn't just a craft, it's a profound philosophy teaching us to cherish flaws as part of an object's and our own story. Kintsugi's origins trace back to 15th century Japan, when a shogun sent a cracked Chinese tea bowl back to China for repairs. The returned bowl, held together with unsightly metal staples, disappointed him. Japanese artisans, seeking a more elegant solution, pioneered Kintsugi. Instead of hiding breaks, they highlighted them with lacquer mixed with gold, silver, or platinum. The result, a piece more stunning and valuable than its original form. At its core, Kintsugi is rooted in wabi-sabi, the Japanese worldview that finds beauty in imperfection and transience. Imagine a shattered teacup. Where others see ruin, a Kintsugi artist sees potential. The process begins with Washi lacquer, a natural adhesive harvested from poison ivy trees. This lacquer isn't just glue, it's sacred. In Shinto belief, Washi carries life energy, binding not just ceramic but also symbolizing resilience. Layers of lacquer are meticulously applied, then dusted with precious metal powder. Each repair takes weeks, sometimes months, as the lacquer cures. The patience mirrors the philosophy: healing can't be rushed. What makes Kintsugi so captivating is its metaphorical depth. In a culture that prizes perfection, Kintsugi dares to celebrate cracks. It whispers that brokenness isn't the end, it's a new beginning. This resonates deeply in Japanese tea ceremonies, where mended bowls often take center stage. The golden seams become conversation pieces honoring the object's history. A 17th century poet wrote of a Kintsugi repaired vase. Its scars sing louder than its first firing. The materials themselves tell a story. Gold, symbolizing enlightenment, elevates the repair from mere function to art. Silver, representing clarity, softens the lines of fracture. Even the tools hold meaning. Bamboo spatulas spread lacquer with precision, while persimmon tannin darkens cracks to accentuate the metal's glow. Modern Kintsugi artists sometimes substitute gold with contemporary materials like epoxy, but purists argue the soul of the craft lies in tradition. Beyond ceramics, Kintsugi's philosophy permeates Japanese life. Therapists use it as a metaphor for emotional healing. Businesses apply its principles to innovate from failures. Even fashion designers embed Kintsugi motifs in fabrics, turning rips into gilded patterns. In 21st century Kyoto, workshops teach Kintsugi not just as a craft but as mindfulness practice. Participants leave with more than a repaired dish. They carry a mindset that life's fractures, when embraced, become its most luminous parts. From this celebration of resilience, we pivot to a tool of stealth: shuriken, the throwing stars that embody the cunning of Japan's shadow warriors. Moving from the golden art of Kintsugi to the shadowy world of ninja warfare, we now uncover the secrets of shuriken, the iconic throwing stars that defined stealth and precision in ancient Japan. These small, deadly blades weren't just weapons. They were tools of deception, designed to distract, disarm, or deliver a fatal blow in the hands of a skilled ninja. The history of shuriken stretches back to the feudal era, where ninjas or shinobi operated as spies and saboteurs. Unlike the katana, which symbolized the samurai's honor, shuriken were the weapons of shadow warriors. They came in two main types: the hira shuriken, or star-shaped blades, and the bow shuriken, which were straight spikes. The star-shaped variety, often pictured in pop culture, had multiple points to increase the chances of striking a target, while the spike-like bow shuriken were simpler but could be thrown with deadly accuracy. Crafting shuriken was an art in itself. Blacksmiths forged them from scrap metal, repurposing broken tools or nails, making them accessible and easy to conceal. Some were even designed to resemble everyday objects like coins or hairpins, allowing ninjas to carry them without suspicion. The edges were sharpened just enough to pierce skin or fabric, but weren't meant for slashing like a sword. This subtlety was key. Ninjas relied on speed and surprise, not brute force. Contrary to Hollywood depictions, shuriken weren't typically used to kill. Their real purpose was to create openings. A well-thrown star could disable an opponent's hand, slice a tendon, or even embed itself in a wooden shield, forcing an enemy to drop their guard. Ninjas often coated the tips in poison or filth to ensure even a minor cut could become infected, adding psychological terror to their arsenal. In darkness or chaos, the mere whiz of a shuriken could send foes scrambling, buying precious seconds for escape or a follow-up attack. The myths surrounding shuriken are as varied as their designs. Some legends claim ninjas could throw them with enough force to penetrate armor, but in reality, their lightweight construction made this unlikely. Others suggest they were used like boomerangs, returning to the thrower, a fanciful idea with no historical basis. The truth is, mastering shuriken required relentless practice. Ninjas trained to throw from awkward positions, lying down, mid-run, or even upside down, ensuring they could strike no matter the circumstance. Beyond combat, shuriken had symbolic weight. They represented the ninja's adaptability, turning everyday objects into tools of survival. Today, they're celebrated in martial arts like ninjutsu, where practitioners study their techniques not for warfare but as a link to Japan's enigmatic past. Modern replicas are popular collectibles, though owning authentic shuriken in Japan now requires special permits, a nod to their deadly legacy. From the silent flight of shuriken, we next step into the vibrant world of kabuki theater, where makeup transforms actors into living legends. Now, stepping from the shadowed world of ninjas into the dazzling glow of the stage, let's explore kabuki theater's makeup, a visual spectacle as dramatic as the stories it tells. Unlike the subtle deception of shuriken, kabuki makeup, known as kumadori, is all about bold exaggeration. Thick lines, vibrant colors, and striking patterns transform actors into larger-than-life characters, instantly conveying their roles to the audience. The artistry begins with a white base symbolizing purity or nobility, applied meticulously to cover the face and neck. Then comes the kumadori's signature bold strokes. Red lines denote heroic characters, passionate, righteous, or powerful, while blue or black paints villains, marking greed or malevolence. Green might indicate the supernatural, like ghosts or demons, and purple often signifies nobility or high rank. These colors aren't random. They're a coded language developed over centuries to help even distant viewers understand a character's nature at a glance. Applying kumadori is a ritual in itself. Backstage, actors sit for hours as makeup artists layer pigments with brushes made from badger or horsehair. The process is meditative, a quiet contrast to the raucous energy of the performance. Some roles require specific patterns, like the tiger stripes for fierce warriors or delicate flourishes for female characters, even though all kabuki roles are played by men. The makeup's thickness can alter facial expressions, forcing actors to rely on exaggerated movements, eyebrows arching higher, mouths opening wider to convey emotion. Beyond aesthetics, the makeup carries spiritual weight. Before stepping on stage, actors often pray at small shrines backstage, seeking the kami's spirit's blessing. The act of removing the makeup after a show is equally symbolic, a return to the mundane world. Historically, the vibrant pigments were made from natural materials like clay or crushed minerals, but today's synthetic versions retain the same intensity. Kabuki's makeup also reflects societal changes. In the Edo period, when kabuki flourished, certain colors were restricted by sumptuary laws to prevent commoners from imitating the elite. Actors circumvented these rules with creative symbolism, like using a subtle gray to hint at aristocratic status. Today, Kumadori is celebrated globally, inspiring modern theater and even fashion runways. From the transformative power of kabuki's makeup, we next turn to a quieter yet equally profound art, the Daruma doll, a symbol of perseverance and wish fulfillment in Japanese culture. Moving from the vibrant drama of kabuki makeup to a quieter but equally fascinating tradition, let's explore the world of Daruma dolls, a symbol of resilience and determination in Japanese culture. These round, hollow dolls, modeled after Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism, are more than just charming figurines. They embody a powerful philosophy: fall down 7 times, stand up 8. The legend behind Daruma dolls traces back to Bodhidharma's meditation in a cave where he sat so long that his legs atrophied. This story of unwavering focus inspired the doll's design, weighted at the bottom so it always rights itself when tipped over. That's why Darumas are known as goal dolls. When you set a goal, you paint one eye, leaving the other blank until the goal is achieved. It's a visual contract with yourself, a daily reminder to keep pushing forward. The ritual is simple but profound. You hold the doll, make a wish or set a goal, and carefully paint the right eye. The blank left eye stares back at you, almost like a challenge. Once your goal is accomplished, you fill in the second eye, completing the doll's face. Some people place their Daruma on altars or desks, while others burn them at temples in annual ceremonies, symbolizing the release of old intentions and the birth of new ones. Colors matter too. Red Darumas, the most common, are for general luck and protection. Gold symbolizes wealth, white is for purity, and green represents health. There's even a black Daruma for warding off misfortune. The dolls are often decorated with kanji characters like perseverance or success painted on their round bodies. Beyond personal goals, Darumas play a role in community events. Politicians paint eyes during campaigns, businesses use them for sales targets, and students rely on them for exam success. The dolls are especially popular during New Year's when temples sell them by the thousands. Some regions, like Takasaki, are famous for their Daruma festivals where towering dolls are paraded through streets. What makes Darumas enduring is their blend of whimsy and wisdom. They don't promise instant success but remind us that setbacks are part of the journey. The next time you see one, notice its blank eye. It's not just unfinished. It's an invitation to keep going. And speaking of artistry with purpose, let's turn now to the intricate world of mokuhanga, where wood and ink collide to create stunning ukiyo-e prints. Now let's shift our focus from the resilient charm of Daruma dolls to the meticulous craft of mokuhanga, Japan's traditional woodblock printing technique. This art form didn't just produce beautiful images, it revolutionized visual storytelling, making art accessible to the masses and even inspiring legends like Vincent van Gogh. The process of mokuhanga is a dance of precision and patience. It starts with a skilled artist carving a design into a block of cherry wood, using chisels to leave raised lines that will hold ink. But here's what sets it apart. Unlike Western printing, mokuhanga uses water-based inks, which soak into handmade washi paper, creating luminous, translucent colors. Each hue requires a separate block, and printers often layer up to 20 colors for a single print. Imagine aligning each block perfectly by hand, with no room for error. A single misplacement could ruin weeks of work. Ukiyo-e, or pictures of the floating world, were the stars of mokuhanga. These prints captured everything from kabuki actors mid-performance to serene landscapes with Mount Fuji. Artists like Hokusai and Hiroshige turned everyday scenes into masterpieces, selling them for about the price of a bowl of noodles. That's why ukiyo-e became Japan's first pop culture phenomenon, affordable, portable, and brimming with life. But the real surprise, their global impact. In the 19th century, Japanese woodblocks reached Europe, where they sparked a frenzy. Van Gogh was so captivated by their bold compositions and flat planes of color that he copied prints directly, even painting his own version of Hiroshige's Plum Estate. The influence is clear in his swirling skies and dramatic cropping. Monet decorated his home with ukiyo-e, and Degas borrowed their unconventional perspectives for his ballet dancers. Mokuhanga's legacy isn't just historical. Today, artists worldwide embrace its eco-friendly process: no chemicals, just natural pigments and water. Modern creators blend traditional techniques with contemporary themes, proving that this centuries-old craft still has fresh stories to tell. From Edo-era theaters to Van Gogh's studio, woodblock printing bridged cultures and eras, turning fleeting moments into timeless art. And speaking of artistry that transforms the ordinary, let's step into the glow of Chochin, where paper and bamboo unite to light up Japanese festivals. Now, let's step into the warm, flickering glow of Chochin, Japan's iconic paper lanterns. These delicate yet durable lights have been illuminating festivals, temples, and homes for centuries, blending artistry with everyday practicality. Unlike rigid lanterns, Chochin's genius lies in their collapsible design, crafted from slender bamboo ribs and handmade washi paper. They can fold flat like an accordion, making them easy to transport and store. This ingenious structure reflects Japan's knack for merging beauty with function. The history of Chochin is deeply tied to Japan's spiritual and communal life. They became central to Obon, the summer festival honoring ancestors, where families light lanterns to guide spirits back to the earthly realm. Picture thousands of Chochin glowing along riverbanks or floating on water, a breathtaking sight that transforms grief into celebration. But their use isn't just ceremonial. In Edo period Japan, street vendors hung Chochin outside shops, each emblazoned with bold kanji to advertise their wares, from sake to sushi. Even today, you'll spot them at izakayas, casting a cozy light over shared meals. Crafting a Chochin is a testament to patience. Artisans start by slicing bamboo into strips thinner than a pencil, then steaming and bending them into spiral frames. The washi paper, often dyed in vibrant reds or blues, is carefully glued to the frame, with designs painted freehand or stenciled. Some lanterns feature intricate cutouts, casting patterned shadows when lit. The final touch, a lick of persimmon tannin, a natural waterproofing agent that strengthens the paper against rain, a trick perfected over generations. What's fascinating is how Chochin evolved beyond Japan. Portuguese traders in the 16th century admired their portability and brought the idea to Europe, where they inspired collapsible lanterns for sailors and soldiers. Meanwhile, in Japan, regional variations flourished. Gifu Chochin, for instance, are famed for their flawless spherical shape, while Akari lanterns, a mid-century reinvention by Isamu Noguchi, blended traditional craftsmanship with modernist elegance. Today, Chochin remain a symbol of warmth and connection. Whether lighting a quiet temple path or electrified in neon for Tokyo's nightlife, they bridge past and present. And just as these lanterns guide spirits during Obon, they continue to light the way for Japan's cultural heartbeat, proving that even the simplest glow can hold centuries of stories. Next, we'll unwind the rhythmic beauty of haiku, where 17 syllables capture the soul of nature. Let's slow down for a moment and breathe in the quiet beauty of haiku, Japan's poetic art of capturing eternity in just 17 syllables. Unlike the glowing lanterns we just explored, haiku distills the essence of life into a few precise words, painting vivid scenes of nature and human emotion. At its core, a haiku follows a strict structure: 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. But within this tiny framework lies boundless depth, rooted in Zen Buddhism's appreciation for mindfulness and the present moment. The master of haiku, Matsuo Basho, elevated the form in the 17th century. His most famous poem, "An old pond / a frog jumps in / the sound of water," seems simple at first glance. Yet it embodies haiku's magic. The sudden splash interrupts silence, drawing our attention to a fleeting, almost sacred instant. Basho wandered Japan for years, writing verses that mirrored his travels from cherry blossoms to moonlit roads. His work wasn't just poetry, it was a way of seeing, teaching us to notice the extraordinary in ordinary moments. What makes haiku uniquely Japanese is its connection to the seasons. Every poem includes a kigo, or seasonal reference, crickets for autumn, snow for winter, anchoring the verse in nature's cycles. This reflects Shinto and Zen beliefs that the divine lives in the natural world. Take Kobayashi Issa, another haiku great, who wrote of dew on a spider's web, highlighting fragility and impermanence. Or Masayoka Shiki, who modernized haiku in the 19th century, blending traditional form with fresh, personal observations. Haiku's influence stretches far beyond Japan. Western poets like Ezra Pound admired its precision, sparking the Imagist movement. Today, haiku thrives globally, adapted into countless languages while keeping its spirit intact. Apps prompt users to write daily haiku, and schools teach it as a tool for creative expression. But the best haiku still honor Basho's rule: learn from the pine, from the bamboo. In other words, let nature guide your words. As we move from the stillness of haiku to the intricate carvings of netsuke, remember this: Japan's inventions often mirror its philosophies. Just as Chochin lanterns blend light and shadow, haiku merges brevity with profound insight, proving that sometimes less truly is more. Now let's turn our attention to something small yet astonishingly intricate: netsuke, those miniature masterpieces that once held together the elegant drape of a kimono. Unlike haiku, which captures fleeting moments in words, netsuke frees entire stories in palm-sized carvings, each one a testament to Japan's unparalleled craftsmanship. In the Edo period, when kimonos had no pockets, people needed a clever way to carry essentials like money or medicine. Enter netsuke, tiny toggles, often made of ivory, wood, or lacquer, that secured pouches or containers to the kimono's sash. But these weren't just functional buttons, they were wearable art. Imagine a netsuke shaped like a sleeping fox, its fur carved so finely you can almost feel its warmth, or one depicting a mythical Shinto deity bursting with dynamic energy. Craftsmen poured months into a single piece, turning the mundane act of fastening a sash into a display of creativity. What makes netsuke truly special is their storytelling. A single carving might show a drunken farmer stumbling home, his face etched with comical exaggeration, or a mother cradling her child, radiating quiet tenderness. Some even hide surprises. Open a tiny compartment, and you'll find a nested set of even smaller figures. This blend of humor, emotion, and technical prowess reflects Japan's love for finding depth in the miniature. By the 19th century, netsuke transcended their practical roots. Wealthy merchants and samurai competed to own the most elaborate designs, turning them into status symbols. Artists like Masanao of Kyoto became celebrities, their signed works fetching fortunes. Today, netsuke are prized collector's items, with museums and auctions celebrating their artistry. The British Museum, for instance, houses a netsuke of a rat peeking from a burlap sack. Its beady eyes and textured fabric so lifelike you'd swear it might scurry away. From securing kimonos to gracing display cases, netsuke remind us that Japanese ingenuity often lies in the details. As we move next to the asymmetrical elegance of the yumi bow, consider this: whether carving a netsuke or stringing a bow, Japan's inventors understood that perfection isn't just about function, it's about soul. Shifting our focus from delicate carvings to the art of war, let's explore the yumi, Japan's asymmetrical longbow that redefined archery. Unlike the symmetrical bows found in most cultures, the yumi stands out with its striking, uneven design. The grip sits about 1/3 from the bottom, creating a longer upper limb. This wasn't just an aesthetic choice, but a tactical marvel. Imagine a samurai on horseback drawing a bow nearly 2 meters tall. the yumi's asymmetry allowed them to maneuver it gracefully in tight spaces, whether navigating dense forests or turning swiftly in battle. Its bamboo and wood laminate construction made it flexible yet powerful, capable of launching arrows with terrifying precision over distances of up to 100 meters. The yumi's advantages in warfare were unmatched. During the Genpei War in the 12th century, mounted archers wielded these bows to devastating effect. The longer upper limb stabilized arrows mid-flight, while the shorter lower limb prevented the bow from snagging on the horse or ground. Samurai didn't just shoot arrows, they practiced yabusame, a breathtaking discipline where riders galloped at full speed, striking targets with split-second timing. This combination of engineering and skill turned the yumi into a symbol of both martial prowess and spiritual discipline, but the yumi's legacy extends far beyond the battlefield. In Kyudo, the ceremonial art of Japanese archery, the bow becomes a tool for meditation. Practitioners don't just aim for targets, they strive for mushin, a state of no mind where action flows without thought. The ritual of drawing the yumi involves precise, deliberate movements, raising the bow overhead, lowering it gradually, and releasing the arrow in a single breath. Each step is a lesson in patience and focus, echoing Zen principles. Even the sound of the string, deep and resonant, is said to purify the space around it. Today, the yumi remains a living tradition. Modern Kyudo dojos uphold centuries-old techniques, while craftsmen still handmake bows using methods passed down through generations. Some even incorporate synthetic materials for durability, but the soul of the yumi endures. Whether in the hands of a samurai's descendant or a curious beginner, this bow continues to bridge Japan's warrior past with its philosophical present. As we move next to the elegant simplicity of the furoshiki wrapping cloth, remember, like the yumi, Japan's inventions often carry layers of meaning, blending utility with artistry. Now let's unfold the story of furoshiki, Japan's elegant answer to wrapping and carrying goods, a tradition that's as practical as it is beautiful. Picture a single square of cloth, often adorned with intricate patterns or bold colors, transforming effortlessly into a bag, a gift wrap, or even a makeshift tablecloth. This isn't just fabric, it's a lesson in resourcefulness and sustainability, woven into Japan's cultural fabric for over 1,200 years. The origins of furoshiki trace back to the Nara period, when these cloths were first used to bundle precious items in temples and noble households. But it was during the Edo period that furoshiki truly flourished. Merchants wrapped goods in them, travelers carried belongings tied to sticks, and even bathhouse visitors used them to bundle clothes, hence the name furoshiki, which literally means bath spread. The cloth's versatility was unmatched. With a few clever folds and knots, it could secure anything from bento boxes to large bottles, adapting to the needs of daily life. What makes furoshiki extraordinary is its blend of artistry and function. Traditional designs often feature nature motifs like cherry blossoms or cranes, but the real magic lies in the tying techniques. The Otsukai Tsutsumi, for instance, creates a sturdy handle for carrying packages, while the Bin Tsutsumi elegantly encases wine bottles. Each fold has a purpose, each knot a story. And because the cloth is reusable, it embodies a zero-waste philosophy centuries before the term existed. Fast forward to today, and furoshiki is experiencing a global revival, championed by sustainability movements. Modern designers are reimagining these cloths with organic cotton, recycled fabrics, and even tech-infused materials that resist wrinkles. In Japan, department stores encourage shoppers to swap plastic bags for furoshiki, and schools teach children its folds as part of environmental education. The cloth's resurgence isn't just nostalgic, it's a practical solution to modern waste, but perhaps furoshiki's greatest legacy is its quiet rebellion against disposability. In a world drowning in single-use plastics, this humble cloth reminds us that beauty and utility can coexist without costing the earth. As we turn next to the meticulous tools of the Chanoyu tea ceremony, consider how Japan's inventions often marry simplicity with profound purpose, just like a single square of fabric that carries endless possibilities. Let's step into the serene world of Chanoyu, where every utensil holds a story and every movement is a meditation. The Japanese tea ceremony isn't just about drinking tea, it's a choreographed art form where even the simplest tools carry deep spiritual weight. Take the chasen, the delicate bamboo whisk used to froth matcha. Each one is hand-carved from a single piece of bamboo, its tines split with precision to create the perfect consistency. But it's more than a kitchen tool. The act of whisking represents the fleeting nature of life as the bamboo eventually wears down with use, a reminder of impermanence central to Zen philosophy. Then there's the chawan, the tea bowl that cradles the matcha. These bowls are never symmetrical, their irregularities are celebrated, much like the philosophy of wabi-sabi, which finds beauty in imperfection. Some chawan are rustic and unglazed, others glazed in vibrant hues, but each is chosen carefully to reflect the season or the host's intention. A rough textured bowl might be used in winter to evoke warmth, while a lighter one complements spring's freshness. Even the way guests rotate the bowl before drinking, a gesture of humility, turns a simple sip into a ritual of respect. But perhaps the most revered tool is the kama, the iron kettle that heats the water. Cast in centuries-old foundries, these kettles are designed to produce a specific sound as the water heats, a soft whistle called matsukaze, or wind in the pines. It's not just about aesthetics. The sound is meant to draw participants into the present moment, a sonic anchor in the ceremony's quietude. The kettle's soot-blackened underside, accumulated over years of use, is also a badge of honor, proof of countless gatherings and shared wisdom. Even the seemingly minor tools carry meaning. The natsum, a lacquered tea caddy, often bears the crest of its maker or a poetic motif, while the hishoku, a bamboo ladle, is used with such grace that its scooping motion resembles a dance. Every item is handled with reverence, cleaned in silent ritual before and after use, symbolizing purity of mind and space. What's striking is how these utensils bridge the mundane and the divine. A bamboo scoop isn't just a scoop, it's a conduit for mindfulness. A tea bowl isn't just pottery, it's a canvas for connection. As we'll soon see with the wooden echoes of Geta sandals, Japan's inventions often turn everyday objects into vessels of tradition, each one whispering lessons from the past. Now let's leave the quiet ritual of the tea ceremony and step into the world of Geta, the iconic wooden sandals that click-clacked their way through Japanese history. Unlike ordinary footwear, Geta were designed with practicality and poetry in mind. Picture this: thick wooden soles elevated by two slats called ha, raising the wearer several inches above the ground. This wasn't just for height, it was genius engineering. The elevated design kept kimono hems clean from mud and rain, while the hollow sound of wood on stone became a rhythmic signature of bustling Edo period streets. But Geta weren't one size fits all. Their design adapted to the seasons and social status. Winter Geta, called ashida, had even taller supports to navigate snowdrifts, while Pokuri Geta, favored by young girls and geisha, featured a single bell-like block that produced a playful chime with every step. The geisha's Geta were especially telling. Often lacquered in black or red and tied with elaborate silk cords, they transformed walking into a performance. The way a geisha balanced on her Geta, toes delicately curled over the strap, was as much an art form as her dancing. Speaking of balance, mastering Geta was no small feat. The angled ha required precise foot placement, turning even a short walk into a lesson in posture and grace. This is why sumo wrestlers still wear Geta during training. The unstable soles strengthen ankle muscles and improve equilibrium. And let's not forget the cultural symbolism. The distinctive sound of Geta was believed to ward off evil spirits, making them a staple at festivals. During Bon Odori dances, the synchronized clatter of hundreds of geta became part of the music, a wooden heartbeat echoing through summer nights. What's fascinating is how geta blurred the line between tool and art. Some were carved with intricate patterns or inlaid with mother-of-pearl for special occasions, while everyday pairs darkened with oil and wear, telling the story of their owners' journeys. Even the straps, called hanao, were customizable indigo dyed for men, bright vermilion for women, and sometimes scented with citrus or sandalwood to leave a fragrant trail. From the snowy paths of Hokkaido to the cherry blossom festivals of Kyoto, geta carried more than just feet, they carried tradition. And just as the tea ceremony turned a bowl into a meditation, geta transformed, walking into a dance between practicality and elegance. Next up, we'll see how another everyday object, the humble inkstone, became a canvas for Japan's most minimalist art form. Now, let's shift from the rhythmic echoes of wooden sandals to the quiet, contemplative world of sumi-e, where a single stroke of ink can capture the soul of a landscape. Sumi-e, or ink wash painting, is more than just an art form, it's a meditation. Imagine a blank parchment, a brush dipped in jet black ink, and the artist's breath held in stillness before the first stroke. There are no second chances in sumi-e. Every line, every drop of ink is permanent, reflecting the Zen Buddhist idea of mindfulness in the present moment. The beauty of sumi-e lies in its restraint. Unlike Western paintings filled with color and detail, a sumi-e masterpiece might depict a lone bamboo stalk bending in the wind or a single bird in flight, using only shades of black, gray, and the untouched white of the paper. This minimalism isn't just artistic choice, it's philosophy. The less is more approach invites the viewer to fill in the gaps with their own imagination, making each piece a collaborative act between artist and observer. The tools of sumi-e are simple but sacred. The ink stick, or sumi, is crafted from soot and animal glue, often pressed with delicate designs. Grinding it against an inkstone with water becomes a ritual, setting the pace for the painting ahead. The brushes, made from bamboo and animal hair, are extensions of the artist's hand, capable of producing a hair-thin line or a sweeping, expressive blur in a single motion. And the paper, washi, absorbs the ink just enough to let it bleed slightly, creating soft edges that mimic the impermanence of nature. Zen monks were among the first to embrace sumi-e, using it as a tool for spiritual practice. A painting session wasn't about creating a perfect image, but about the state of mind during the process. Hesitation would show in clumsy strokes, while a calm, focused hand produced fluid, confident lines. This is why sumi-e artists often speak of mu-shin, or no mind, a state where the body moves without overthinking, much like an archer releasing an arrow or a calligrapher finishing a character in one breath. One of the most revered subjects in sumi-e is the enso, a circle drawn in one unbroken stroke. It symbolizes enlightenment, the universe, and the beauty of imperfection. Some enso are perfectly round, others deliberately uneven, but all carry the artist's energy in that single moment of creation. It's a reminder that flawlessness isn't the goal, authenticity is. Sumi-e's influence stretches far beyond Japan. You can see its echoes in the bold brushwork of modern abstract art, and even in the sleek minimalism of contemporary design. But perhaps its greatest legacy is the way it teaches us to see. In a world saturated with noise and clutter, sumi-e invites us to pause, to appreciate the elegance of a single line, and to find depth in emptiness. Up next, we'll uncover how family crests, or kamen, wove symbols of identity into the fabric of Japanese life. Moving from the quiet strokes of sumi-e, let's step into the world of symbols, where a single design could speak volumes about identity and heritage. Kamen, or Japanese family crests, are more than just decorative emblems. They're visual fingerprints weaving stories of lineage, pride, and social standing into the very fabric of Japanese history. Picture this: a delicate chrysanthemum, a bold paulownia leaf, or a trio of interlocking rings. Each crest carries layers of meaning, often tied to nature, mythology, or even a family's profession. The tradition of kamen dates back over 1,000 years, emerging during the Heian period as noble families sought ways to distinguish themselves. At first, these crests were simple motifs adorning ox-drawn carriages or court attire, but they soon became essential markers of identity. By the feudal era, samurai clans adopted kamen to display allegiance on banners, armor, and even swords. A single glance at a warrior's crest could reveal their house, their alliances, and sometimes even their battlefield reputation. What's fascinating is how kamen blend artistry with purpose. Take the Mitsuba Aoi, the triple hollyhock crest of the Tokugawa shoguns. Its symmetrical leaves symbolized stability and endurance, mirroring the family's unshakable rule. Or consider the Kiku, the imperial chrysanthemum with its 16 petals, reserved exclusively for the emperor, a design so sacred it was forbidden to commoners. These crests weren't just pretty patterns, they were visual shorthand for power and prestige. But kamen weren't confined to the elite. Over time, merchants, artisans, and even temples adopted their own crests, embedding them into everyday life. You'd spot them on kimono linings, lacquerware, and rooftops. In architecture, kamen adorned sliding doors and gateposts, silently announcing who lived within. Some designs, like the wachigai interlocking circles, represented harmony, while others, like the tomo comma-shaped swirls, hinted at spiritual protection. The creation of a kamen was a meticulous process. Artists often drew inspiration from the natural world, plants, animals, celestial bodies, but abstracted them into geometric simplicity. A plum blossom might be reduced to 5 precise petals. A crane's wings could become a series of graceful curves. This minimalism ensured the designs were instantly recognizable, even at a distance or when woven into fabric. Interestingly, kamen also played a subtle role in social mobility. Marriages between families sometimes led to merged crests, creating new hybrids that honored both lineages. And while certain motifs were restricted by class, resourceful commoners found clever workarounds, tweaking designs just enough to avoid offense while still asserting their identity. Today, kamen live on in surprising ways. You'll spot them on modern corporate logos, sake bottles, and even tatami room borders, proof of their timeless appeal. But perhaps their most enduring legacy is how they remind us that a symbol, no matter how small, can carry the weight of centuries. Next, we'll light up the past with the elegant glow of chochin, the paper lanterns that illuminated Japan's festivals and ghost stories alike. Now, let's shift our gaze from the silent language of family crests to something a bit more smoky. The kaisru, Japan's ornate metal pipe, wasn't just a way to enjoy tobacco. It was a status symbol, a social lubricant, and even a fashion statement during the Edo period. Picture this, a slender, often beautifully decorated pipe, its metal bowl gleaming as it passed between hands in tea houses, theaters, and bustling marketplaces. Tobacco arrived in Japan in the late 16th century, likely brought by Portuguese traders, and it didn't take long for smoking to become a cultural phenomenon. But the Japanese didn't just adopt the habit, they refined it. Enter the kaisru, a pipe so distinct in design it became synonymous with Edo-era leisure. Unlike Western pipes, the kaisru was compact, usually no longer than a handspan, with a delicate metal bowl and mouthpiece connected by a slender bamboo or metal shaft. Its small size wasn't just for portability. It reflected the Japanese preference for savoring tobacco in small, mindful puffs rather than deep, lingering drags. What made the kaisru truly special was its artistry. Craftsmen turned these pipes into miniature masterpieces. Bowls were cast from bronze, silver, or even gold, often engraved with intricate patterns, cherry blossoms, dragons, or scenes from folklore. Some pipes even featured inlays of lacquer or ivory, transforming them into prized possessions. wealthy merchants and samurai flaunted kaisru as accessories, tucking them into obi sashes like jewelry. There was even a fashion trend among stylish townsfolk who wore multiple kaisru at once, though they probably didn't light them all at the same time. But the kaisru wasn't just about looking good, it played a key role in social rituals. In tea houses and brothels, sharing a kaisru was a gesture of camaraderie. Actors in kabuki theaters used them as props to accentuate dramatic pauses, while sumo wrestlers puffed away backstage to calm their nerves. Even the shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu was said to have enjoyed a quiet smoke, though he likely didn't pass his pipe around like commoners did. Interestingly, the kaisru also had a darker side. Its small bowl made it perfect for smoking finely shredded tobacco, which was often mixed with other herbs, some less than legal. Authorities occasionally cracked down on reckless smoking, especially when it led to fires in crowded wooden cities like Edo. Yet the habit persisted, even inspiring specialized accessories, tobacco pouches, portable ashtrays, and even pipe cleaning tools crafted with the same care as the kaisru itself. By the Meiji era, Western-style cigarettes began to overshadow the kaisru, but its legacy lingers. You can still find antique pipes in museums, and occasionally, a traditional inn or festival revives the old-world charm of a shared smoke. The kaisru reminds us that even the simplest pleasures like a puff of tobacco can become art, ritual, and a window into the past. Up next, we'll meet the most famous feline in Japan, the Menki Niko, the beckoning cat that's been inviting good fortune for centuries. Now, let's turn our attention from the smoky elegance of the kaisru to a far more wholesome and far more positive symbol of luck, the Menki Niko, Japan's beloved beckoning cat. This charming figurine, with its raised paw and often golden collar, is more than just a cute decoration. It's a centuries-old talisman of good fortune, a cultural icon that's found its way from temple steps to boutique shop windows around the world. The origins of the Menki Niko are shrouded in folklore, with several captivating stories claiming to explain its birth. One of the most popular tales takes us back to Edo period Tokyo, then called Edo. Legend has it that a poor temple priest and his cat lived in a rundown shrine. One stormy night, a wealthy samurai took shelter under a tree near the temple gates. Spotting the samurai, the cat raised its paw as if beckoning him inside. Curious, the samurai followed just as lightning struck the tree he'd been standing under. Grateful for his life, the samurai became the temple's patron, restoring it to prosperity. From that day on, the beckoning cat became a symbol of unexpected good luck and protection. But the Menki Niko isn't just a one-tailed wonder. Another version traces its roots to a geisha whose cat allegedly saved her from a venomous snake by alerting her with its waving paw. And in Osaka, merchants adopted the cat as a charm to attract customers, believing its gesture mirrored the way shopkeepers waved passers-by inside. Over time, the Menki Niko evolved into a staple of Japanese commerce, its raised paw now a near-universal shorthand for come in and spend a little. What makes the Menki Niko especially fascinating is its variety. The color of the cat isn't just for show, each hue carries its own meaning. The classic white cat symbolizes purity and happiness, while gold beckons wealth and prosperity. Black cats, despite Western superstitions, are prized in Japan for warding off evil spirits, and red is thought to protect against illness. There's even a rare pink version said to attract love. Then there's the paw debate. A raised right paw is said to lure money, while the left invites customers or people. Some ambitious versions raise both paws, though locals joke that this might just confuse the luck. The Menki Niko's design is loaded with symbolic accessories too. Most wear a decorative collar and bell, a nod to the lavish pets of wealthy Edo-era merchants. Many clutch a koban, an old gold coin representing financial windfalls. Some sit atop stacks of coins or treasure chests, doubling down on the wealth theme. And don't overlook the base, often inscribed with Chinese letter Senryo, meaning 1,000 gold pieces, just in case the message wasn't clear enough. From its humble beginnings, the Menki Niko has become a global phenomenon. You'll spot it in Chinese restaurants as the lucky cat, in Thai businesses as the waving cat, and even in Western stores where its meaning might be lost but its charm isn't. Modern versions have gone high-tech, some with solar-powered waving paws, others with digital coin displays. There's even a Menki Niko emoji, proving this cat's appeal is truly timeless. Yet for all its commercial fame, the Menki Niko remains deeply rooted in Japanese tradition. Temples still sell blessed versions, and families display them during New Year's celebrations to invite a year of good fortune. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest gestures, whether a paw raised in welcome or a smile shared with a stranger, can change destinies. And with that, we've reached the end of our journey through Japan's ancient inventions, but not before one final stop, a quick recap of the incredible innovations we've uncovered. Stay tuned. Now that we've journeyed through the fascinating world of Japan's ancient innovations, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible blend of artistry and practicality that defines these 25 inventions. From the melodic strings of the Koto to the razor-sharp precision of the Katana, each creation tells a story of ingenuity deeply rooted in culture and necessity. The delicate craftsmanship of Washi paper and the philosophical beauty of Kintsugi remind us that even everyday objects can carry profound meaning. Meanwhile, playful inventions like the Menki Niko and Karakuri Ningyo reveal Japan's knack for infusing joy into the practical. What stands out most isn't just the diversity of these inventions, but how they seamlessly merge form and function. The tatami mat isn't merely flooring, it's a lesson in space-saving elegance. The asymmetrical yumi bow isn't just a weapon, but a masterpiece of balance and physics. And who could forget the furoshiki cloth, a centuries-old answer to modern eco-friendly living? These weren't just tools or art pieces, they were solutions, each born from a unique cultural moment, yet timeless in their appeal. Many of these inventions didn't just stay in Japan, they traveled the world, influencing everything from Western art, thanks to mokuhanga woodblock prints, to global theater, kabuki makeup. Even the humble folding fan, or sensu, became a must-have accessory in royal courts from Europe to China. It's a testament to how Japan's creativity resonated far beyond its shores, proving that great ideas transcend borders. But here's the best part, so many of these ancient inventions aren't relics of the past. They're still alive today, whether it's sipping sake brewed using age-old techniques or writing haiku that capture fleeting moments just as they did in Basho's time. The Daruma doll still motivates dreamers, while the Shodo brush continues to turn words into visual poetry. That's the magic of Japan's legacy. It doesn't just belong in museums, it thrives in homes, workshops, and hearts worldwide. So tell me, which of these 25 inventions surprised you the most? Was it the mechanical wonder of Karakuri Ningyo dolls, the battlefield brilliance of the shuriken, or perhaps the quiet wisdom of Kintsugi? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear which piece of Japanese ingenuity captured your imagination. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into history's hidden gems, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next exploration. Until then, keep celebrating the creativity of the past. It might just inspire your future.